Good day, learners. Welcome back to the second part of LBV GMath 1-2.1. I am Engineer Peter Benjamin Obiano, and I will be your lecturer for this video. Do note that this video is under Chapter 2 of General Mathematics, which is on rational functions. We are still tackling the first MELC on rational functions, which is the representation of real-life situations using rational functions. Ang pag-uusapan natin for this video is first, how to evaluate rational functions, and second, how to generate a table of values of rational functions. At the end of the video, I hope matutunan natin kung paano gumamit ng rational functions, paano tayo mag-evaluate ng rational functions. And in preparation sa mga next topics natin, especially kapag nasa graphing part na tayo, I hope na matutunan natin at the end of this video yung basics ng paggawa ng table of values ng isang rational function. Alright, let's have a review saglit on what we learned sa previous LBV natin. During the last video, we defined what rational functions are. Again, ano ulit ang mga rational function? A rational function is any function which can be written as the ratio of two polynomial functions, where the polynomial in the denominator is not equal to 0. Again, kuha ka ng dalawang polynomial, yung isa gawin mong numerator, yung isa gawin mong denominator. As long as yung denominator ay hindi magiging 0, then yung nabuo mo ay isang rational function. Example ng rational function. You have f of m equals m raised to 5 plus 19m plus 2 divided by m squared minus m minus 7. If titignan natin itong function na ito, yung numerator at yung denominator ay parehas na polynomials. That is why f of m is an example of a rational function. Example naman ng hindi rational function is this one. F of x is equal to the square root of x plus 3x squared divided by 4x squared minus 8x minus 5. This is an example of a non-rational function. Bakit? Kung titignan natin yung numerator, makikita natin na hindi ito isang polynomial. So again, hindi ba ang requirement ng pagiging polynomial, dapat yung exponent natin ay non-negative integer. So dapat positive integer lamang o di kaya 0. Ang problema, hindi ba ang square root of x ay pwede mong i-rewrite as x raised to 1/2? Yung exponent na 1/2, hindi pwede kasi hindi siya isang integer. Thus, this is not a polynomial and therefore, this is not a rational function. Alright? So yan po yung isa sa na-discuss natin sa previous LBV natin. Natutunan din natin last LBV kung paano gumawa ng sarili nating rational function. Ulit lang tayo. How to formulate rational functions. Summarize na lang natin. So, di ba? Step 1, we identify the given constants, ano yung mga variables na gustong ipagamit ng tanong, at syempre, dapat alam natin ano ang nire-represent ng bawat variable. Second, let us make an equation that solves whatever is required by the problem. Nakita natin sa mga sinolve natin last LBV na minsan, kailangan mong gumamit ng mga equations na natutunan natin sa ibang subjects natin such as geometry and physics. I think last LBV, tayo ay nag-solve ng something about the relationship of speed, distance, and time. Nag-solve din tayo ng related sa geometry, specifically yung area and perimeter of a rectangle. So, minsan, kailangan nating i-recall yung mga previous subjects natin. Aside from that, sometimes you will encounter problems na initially gumagamit ng more than one variable. At nakita naman natin sa sinolve natin last LBV that if the initial equation has more than one variable, you need to express all the other variables in terms of the variable required by the problem. So kung halimbawa, yung variable na binigay sa problem ay let's say xy, dalawa, kaso let's say yung function kailangan lamang niya is si x. Ang gagawin natin ngayon, isip tayo ng paraan para yung y mai-express natin in terms of x. So medyo challenging na if ever ganun man siya. But ang point nito, step 2, gawa tayo ng equation. Once na natapos na natin yung equation, last step, ano man yung ibinigay na constants at variable sa ating given, yun yung ipapalit natin sa equation natin. So we are going to substitute the necessary constants and variables that were mentioned on the problem to our equation. Ito yung mga natutunan natin sa last LBV. And actually, we will be using these steps once again to solve for the next set of questions under this topic. Alright? So, I hope ready na po tayo. Ngayon, ang focus naman natin is, okay, meron na akong rational function, what's next? Ano ngayon ang pwede nating gawin after nating makuha yung rational function natin? At this moment, let us discuss two things na pwede nating gawin if may function na tayo. Una, yung pag-e-evaluate ng function. At pangalawa, yung paggawa ng table of values. So, unahin natin yung first topic natin. Okay, how to evaluate rational function. Ano ang ibig sabihin, by the way, ng pag-e-evaluate ng rational functions? Evaluating rational functions simply mean that anuman ang variable sa function mo, papalitan natin iyon ng value ng actual number na binigay ng problem. Sometimes, gagawa ka muna ng function. Minsan naman, given na yung function. It depends on the problem. Pero syempre, bago ka makapag-evaluate ng function, bago ka makapag-substitute ng something, una muna, dapat may function ka. Okay? So, yun yung first topic natin. Sige. So, let's now go to our first exercise. Exercise number 1. The budget of a certain university is split evenly among its various clubs. If they have a budget of 50,000, first question, construct a function based of n which would give the amount of money each of the n number of clubs would receive. Second question, if the university has 10 clubs, how much would each club have? I-solve muna natin yung unang problem. What is the given? Alam natin na ang total budget, ayon sa binigay sa given natin, the total budget is 50,000. Also, sinabi din sa problem natin na yung dami ng clubs sa university will be represented by n. So, binanggit sa problem na yung n will represent the number of clubs. So, yun po yung mga given sa atin. Now, ano ang gusto ng problem? Sabi, gawa daw tayo ng function. Yung function natin, tatawagin natin base of n, which represents the amount of money for each of the clubs. Gumawa raw tayo ng function na kung saan sasabihin niya sa atin magkano ang makukuha ng bawat club. I believe somehow may similar problem na ganito na sinolve natin sa previous LBV. So what is now our solution? To get the money allotted per club, we will divide the total budget by the total number of clubs. Para makuha natin magkano ang makukuha ng bawat club, E di kunin natin yung total budget and i-divide natin ito by the total number of clubs. Therefore, this is our equation. The money that each club will receive is equal to the total budget divided by the number of clubs. Ngayong mayroon na tayong equation, ang gagawin na lang natin, isa-substitute natin ano man yung given sa problem. Again, sabi sa problem, yung money per club, yung pera na matatanggap ng bawat club will be represented by the function base of n. Kaya, itong money per club, papalitan natin ng base of n. Next, nasa numerator yung total budget. Given naman sa problem na ang total budget natin ay 50,000. Kaya, yung total budget na nasa numerator, papalitan natin yan ng 50,000. Lastly, the number of clubs will be represented by the variable n. So, makikita naman natin iyon sa part na ito. N is the number of clubs. Therefore, itong number of clubs na ito sa denominator, palitan lang natin ng n. And here it is. Ito na ngayon yung function base of n natin that represents the money that each club will receive. Again, from this equation alone, pwede tayong gumawa ng simpleng conclusion. Makikita natin dito na the money received per club is inversely proportional to the number of clubs. Siyempre, kapag mas madami yung clubs na maghahati-hati, mas maliit ang makukuha ng bawat club. So, pwedeng ipa-analyze sa inyo yung function na nakuha natin. Anyways, we're done with the first question. Let's now go to the second question. So, anong sabi sa second question? If the university has 10 clubs, how much would each club have? Kapag daw may 10 club yung university, magkano ngayon ang matatanggap ng bawat isa? Again, what is given? Alam natin ngayon na sa university natin, 10 yung club. Ano ang gustong kunin ng tanong? Magkano ang matatanggap ng bawat club kung yun nga 10 silang lahat? Actually, ang gagawin na lang natin dito is kunin natin yung nakuha nating function kanina. So our solution will be like this. To get the money allotted to each of the 10 clubs, let us just substitute n is 10 to the function that we obtained kanina sa problem letter A, which is ito yon. 'Di ba? Yan yung nakuha nating function kanina. Base of n is 50,000 over n. Again, ano ulit itong function na ito? Itong function na ito ay pwede nating gamitin para malaman natin magkano ang matatanggap ng bawat club. Alam naman na natin na 10 yung clubs natin. So, we have 10 clubs. So, ang gagawin na lang natin actually dito, palitan lang natin yung n ng 10. Tapos, yun na. Bahala ka na kung paano mo ito kukunin. Pwedeng manual, pwedeng calculator. Anyways, if you're going to solve for the answer, we will get 5,000. Ibig sabihin natin ngayon, kung mayroon ngang 10 club sa university natin, bawat club ay makakatanggap ng tig 5,000. And that's it. We now have our answer. So, ganun lamang po mag-evaluate ng function. Makikita natin dito na minsan, bago tayo makapag-evaluate ng function, kailangan muna nating gumawa ng function. Kaya nga yung tatlong steps natin na na-discuss last LBV, please wag nyo na lang kakalimutan. Ngayon, hindi naman lahat ng problem, kailangan kang gumawa ng function. Minsan naman, given na yung function. Okay? So, I hope naging malinaw po ang solution natin for the first exercise. All right, let's now go to our second example. Suppose that C of t equals 3t over t squared plus 1 in milligram per milliliter represents the concentration of a drug in a patient's bloodstream t hours after the drug was administered. What is the concentration of the drug in the patient's bloodstream 2 hours after the drug was administered? Unlike sa previous problem kanina, again, kung naalala nyo, kinailangan muna nating isolve yung function. Actually, itong problem na ito, medyo mas madali siya ng konti kasi alam na natin yung function given na. So, diretso evaluate na tayo. Okay, what is the given? Binigay sa atin yung function that tells us how much drug is in a patient's bloodstream. Gamit yung function na ibinigay, malalaman natin gaano karami yung naiwang drug or gamot sa dugo ng isang pasyente. Ito yon. So you have 3t over t squared plus 1. Naka-indicate naman po na itong function na ito ay may unit na milligram per milliliter. As long as itong t is naka-Rs. Yan. Naka-indicate naman dito, na yung isa-substitute mo na T dapat in terms of Rs. And kapag nag-substitute ka ng time in Rs, ano man ang makuha mong sagot dito, ang magiging unit nun is milligram per milliliters. Minsan, kailangan nating maging particular sa units. Kaya basahin ng maigi yung problem. Anyways, simple lang naman ang tanong. Hanapin raw natin gaano na karami ang naiwan sa dugo ng pasyente after 2 hours. So, yun yung tinatanong. What's the concentration of the drug in the patient's bloodstream after 2 hours? As mentioned kanina, mas maikli yung solution natin kasi hindi na natin kailangan pang kunin yung function. At least, alam na natin. So, ang gagawin na lang natin, i-substitute lang natin yung t sa t na nasa function. So, magiging ganito lang siya. Of course, we will have 3 times 2 divided by 2 squared plus 1. Of course, 3 times 2 is 6. So, you have 6. You have 4 plus 1. So, you have 6 over 5. Actually, okay na ito. Pero kung gusto mo siyang gawing decimal, then you have 1.2 milligram per milliliters. Again, ingat po tayo sa units. So, in-indicate naman po sa problem na as long as yung T na inilagay mo ay Rs, automatic, ang magiging unit nito is milligram per milliliters. Alright, so that is our answer. So you have, after 2 hours, the concentration of the drug will be 1.2 milligrams per milliliters. O, di ba? Hindi naman siya ganun kahirap. Let's have another one. Suppose that C of t equals 3t over t squared plus 1, again in milligram per milliliter, represents the concentration of a drug in a patient's bloodstream t hours after the drug was administered. What is the concentration of the drug in the patient's bloodstream 120 minutes after the drug was administered? Wait lang. Bakit parang same lang itong question na ito? Well, not exactly. There is a slight difference. Nahanap niyo na ba kung ano yung medyo iba sa tanong na ito? Anyways, sige, let's say hindi mo napansin, Okay, so again, hindi na natin kailangang maghanap ng function kasi given na. Once again, binigay na sa atin yung function, which is the concentration of a drug in a patient's bloodstream at t hours after the drug is administered. And ito siya. So you have 3t over t squared plus 1. Kagaya ng last problem, as long as yung T is naka-Rs, ang magiging unit ng anuman yung sagot nito will be milligrams per milliliters. Alright. Ano yung hinihingi ng tanong? So, sabi ng tanong, ilan na daw ang concentration ng drug sa dugo ng pasyente after 120 minutes? Now, hindi ba medyo madali yung problem, 'di ba? Kunin mo lang yung function, you substitute, tapos na. Maybe some of you, ito ang gagawin. 'Di ba? Ano bang sabi? Sabi, T is 120. So maybe ang maisip ng iba sa inyo, ano? I-substitute na lang natin yung T na 120 sa binigay na function. O di sige, gawin natin yon. So i-substitute natin yung 120 sa T. So magkakaroon ka ng 3 times 120 divided by 120 squared plus 1. Let's expand, simplify. You'll get 360 divided by 14,400 plus 1. So pag sinolve mo siya, lalabas 360 over 14,401. Ngayon, kung gagamit ka man ng calculator at gusto mong kunin yung decimal equivalent, you'll get this. So you have 0.025 milligram per milliliters. Tapos siguro, sasabihin mo na, ito na yung sagot. O, di ba? Chicken lang. But in reality, if ito nga ang ginawa mong solution, this is actually wrong. Mali yung solution na ito. Ha? Bakit? Ano yung mali? Ginaya ko lang naman yung previous problem. Again, let us be very careful sa units. Basahin po natin ng maigi yung units na ibinigay sa atin. Be very careful kasi sayang naman, hindi ganun kahirap yung solution. Take note, itong function na binigay sa atin, yung T na ilalagay mo, dapat naka-Rs. Yan o, nakalagay dito, T-Rs. So, dapat, bago ka mag-substitute ng T, siguraduhin mo muna na yung T is naka-Rs. So, T must be in Rs. Ang problema, ano ba yung binigay? Ang binigay ay 120 minutes. So, naka-minutes yung given. Hindi mo pwedeng i-substitute directly kasi nga dapat naka-hours tayo. Okay? So, anong gagawin natin? Hindi naman ganun kahirap. Ang gagawin lang natin, let us first convert 120 minutes to hours. Hindi naman siya ganun kahirap. So, hindi ba? Pwede natin gawin yung approach na ganito. 120 minutes times in 1 hour, we have 60 minutes. So, yung unit na minutes will cancel out. May iwan yung unit na hour. You have now 120 times 1 over 60. Of course, masosolve natin na yung T is 2 hours. 120 minutes is equivalent to 2 hours. Okay na, hours na ito. Since hours na ito, pwede na natin siyang i-substitute sa function natin. Again, yun lang naman ang gusto ko sanang i-emphasize sa problem na ito. Ingat po tayo sa units. Baka padalos-dalos ka, ano? Ang kailangan pala ng function, centimeters. Ang given, inches. Hindi mo napansin, sinubstitute mo agad. Di mali ka na. So again, no, be very careful. Anyways, moving on. So again, alam na natin na yung T is 2 hours. I-substitute na lang natin siya sa given function. Again, lahat ng T ay gagawin nating 2. So you get 3 times 2 over 2 squared plus 1. You'll get 6 over 4 plus 1. Again, that is 6 over 5. Tapos, ikaw, kung gusto mo siyang gawing decimal, you'll get 1.2 milligrams per milliliters. And this is now the correct answer. Mag-ingat po tayo. Sayang naman kasi hindi ganon kahirap yung process. So that is how you evaluate rational function. Simple lang naman. Ano po? So, minsan, ikaw ang gagawa ng function. Minsan naman, given na yung function. Pero madali lang naman, 'di ba? Ang gagawin mo lang naman, ano man yung sinabing value ng variable, yun yung isa-substitute mo. So, yun lang muna ang i-discuss natin ngayon. Siyempre, pwede rin kasing ganito yung itanong, pwedeng baliktad. Halimbawa, pwedeng ganito. Let's say, alam natin na ang concentration ay, kunyari, 4 milligrams per milliliters. So, pwede naman baliktad yung tanong. Alam natin yung concentration, tapos let's say ang tanong, gustong ipahanap ano yung time. Gaano katagal bago natin maabot, let's say, 4 milligrams per milliliters, kunyari lang. So, pwedeng ganon yung itanong. So, pwedeng pabaliktad. Don't worry, we will solve problems like that sa mga next videos natin. Okay? So, for now, ang focus lang natin ngayon is to introduce how to evaluate rational functions. All right, we're done with the first part. Let's now go to the second part. Well, actually, a short discussion lang to. Let us now learn how to generate a table of values from a rational function. So, hindi naman ganun ka-complicated ang solution. Actually, mag-evaluate lang tayo ng mag-evaluate, though table of values na gagawin natin. So, ibig sabihin nito, ilang beses lang naman tayo mag-evaluate. But the process itself, it's not that long. Let us now solve the last problem for this video. Let C of t be 5t over t squared plus 5 be the function that describes the concentration of salt in a patient's blood over time t. Construct a table of values for when t is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. What is given? Binigyan tayo ng function that tells us, once again, the concentration. This time nga lang salt, so hindi na drug. Anyways, concentration of salt in a patient's blood over time t. So ito siya, 5t over t squared plus 5. Given din yung mga gagamitin nating time. So sinabi na ang time na gagamitin natin ay 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Ano yung gusto ng problem? Sabi ng problem, gawa raw tayo ng table of values. Kapag yung t natin ay 0, kapag 1, kapag 2, kapag 3, kapag 4, and kapag 5. Para magawa natin yung hinihingi ng tanong, dalawang parts ang solution natin. Una, we will get the value of c of t at time 0 until 5. And then, after nating makuha yung iba't ibang values, ayusin na lang natin sila in a table form. Again, kagaya ng nasabi ko kanina, let us be very careful sa units. Kaya lang kung babasahin naman natin yung tanong, wala namang sinabing unit yung time. So, ibig sabihin nito, it's safe na i-substitute na lang natin directly yung 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyways, wala namang indication kung anong unit dapat ng time. Okay, so yun lang. So parang mag-evaluate lang tayo ng 6 na beses. So let's just substitute. T is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to get 6 values. Okay, so unahin natin. What if ang nilagay ko ay 0? Pag nilagay ko ay 0, edi syempre, yung numerator mo magiging 5 times 0. Pwedeng hindi mo na ituloy since nag-0 na yung numerator mo. The entire value, of course, is now 0. Anyways, hindi naman to magiging undefined. Okay, hindi naman siya magiging indeterminate kasi hindi naman 0 yung denominator. Anyways, so if you substitute t is 0, you'll find out that the value is 0. Let's proceed. What if ang t ay 1? O di, lahat ng t dito ay gawin nating 1. So you'll get 5 times 1 over 1 squared plus 5. Simplify, you'll get 5 over 6. Convert it to decimal, you have 0.83. Tapos, gawin natin yung at time is 2. At time is 2. So, ganun lang ulit. 5 times 2 divided by 2 squared plus 5. You'll get 10 over 9. In decimal form, para mas madaling isulat mamaya, it's 1.11. at time is 3. So you'll get 5 times 3 over 3 squared plus 5, giving us 15 over 14, which is equal to 1.07. Next, substitute natin 4. At t is 4, you'll get 5 times 4 over 4 squared plus 5. So we'll get 20 over 21. Again, in decimal form, that's 0.95. And lastly, at t is 5, substitute natin yung 5 sa t, you'll get 5 times 5 over 5 squared plus 5, or simply 25 over 30. Converting that to numerical form, that is 0.83. So, yun lang. So, isa-isahin lang nating ilagay yung mga values na sinabi sa tanong. So, yun na. Tapos na yung step A natin. Tapos, ang step B is ayusin lang naman natin in table form. So, again, ito yung mga values na nakuha natin. If T is 0, the value of the concentration is 0. At T is 1, the concentration is 0.83. At T is 2, the concentration is 1.11. At T is 3, the concentration is 1.07. At T is 4, it's 0.95. And lastly, at T is 5, the concentration is 0.83. Again, ang gagawin lang naman natin dito is i-arrange lang natin sila na naka-table. Ang ginawa ko na lang is pahigang table. Pero syempre, pwede kang gumamit ng patayo kung trip mo. Ang ilalagay natin sa row is yung time. Ilalagay natin yung mga values ng t. Samantalang, ilalagay natin sa second row yung values ng mga concentration natin. Tapos, partner-partner na lang. So, again, at time is 0, the concentration is 0. So, sa first column natin, at time is 0, the concentration is 0. Next, at time is 1, the concentration is 0.83. So, dito sa next column natin, at time is 1, the concentration is 0.83. Moving on, at time is 2, the concentration is 1.11. So, ilagay lang natin dito. At time is 2, the concentration is 1.11. Next, at time is 3, the concentration is 1.07. So, lagay natin dito sa next column. At time is 3, the concentration is 1.07. Second to the last, at time is 4, the concentration is 0.95. Ilalagay natin ngayon sa second to the last column. At T is 4, the concentration is 0.95. Lastly, at T is 5, the concentration is 0.83. So, dito sa last column, lagay lang natin, at T is 5, the concentration is 0.83. And we're done. This is now the table of values na hinihingi ng tanong. So, for now, hanggang dito lang muna tayo. Paano ba gumawa ng table? Pero syempre, in the future, we'll have additional applications. For example, pwedeng itanong sa atin, okay, meron kang table, magbigay ka nga ng short description about what is happening. So, pwede nating sabihin ganito. Initially, as time goes on, the concentration increases. Makikita naman natin, 0. Tapos umakyat, 0.83. Tapos umakyat, 1.11. So initially, the concentration increases. However, it will now start to decrease. So makikita natin yon na between time 2 at time 3, bababa na yung concentration. So, 1.11, magiging 1.07 na, and tuloy-tuloy na siyang bumababa. So, pwedeng ganon, Pwedeng ganon yung itanong sa atin. After mong makuha yung table, magbigay ka pa ng short description. So, depende sa itatanong sa atin. Ano pa ba ang ibang gamit ng table? In the future, pag tayo ay mag-graph na, magandang gumamit ng table para madaling i-plot yung X and Y coordinates. But anyways, next videos lang yan. Okay? So, I hope you remember how to generate your tables. That's it. Yun lang yung coverage natin for this video. So, I hope na we were able to learn how to evaluate rational functions and how to generate a table of values from rational functions. So we are done with 1-2.1b. Next video will be a new lesson. We will learn how to distinguish kung yung ibinigay ba sa atin ay isang rational function, rational equation ba yan, or rational inequality. So I hope na maging excited tayo and let us look forward sa mga next lessons natin. Again, for supplementary materials po, we can refer to our QuexHub book for general mathematics, specifically chapter 2. Again, if you have any questions, if you have any concerns, feel free po na magtanong sa amin and we are happy to help you. God bless po and see you on the next video.